Well, I missed a lot. So I've been reading all your comments on the original video, and I missed a whole lot. So let's start off with what I missed first. But before we get into it, please go check out the first part if you have not seen it yet. Meccano Percy. In 1901, Frank Hornby, a clerk from Liverpool, England, invented and patented a new toy called Mechanics Made Easy. The toy was designed to teach the basic principles of mechanical engineering while still being fun to build and play with. It became a huge success. Eventually it grew into Meccano LTT. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. A company that extended into model railways and became one of the biggest names in the hobby. Fast forward to 1965. At this point, the railway series books by the Reverend Wilbur Awdry had become popular, but the television series was still almost 20 years away. To capitalize on the success of the books, Meccano released a small clockwork train set featuring Percy. This set included a green Percy locomotive, a yellow truck wagon, and a red goods van, and a circle loop of blue track. While it may seem like a simple toy today, this set is considered by many fans to be one of, if not the first official piece of Thomas merchandise ever released. It showed that children wanted more than just the books. They wanted to bring the stories to life with toys that they could play with. Unlike modern battery-powered trains, Percy was powered by a clockwork motor. Children would wind with a key on the side of the engine, place it on the track, and watch it travel around the layout until the spring ran out. It was a simple design, but it was reliable, affordable, and a common type of toys during the 1960s. Although the train set wasn't produced for very long, there was a market for Thomas-themed railway toys. That success helped lay the groundwork for future manufacturers to create even more detailed models in the years to come. Looking back, it was amazing how important this title train set became. It connected the world of model railways with the railway series long before the television show ever aired. Without this early release, the history of Thomas model trains might have been very different. This little clockwork Percy may not have had the detail or the realism of later models, but it proved that Thomas could succeed as a model railway toy, and from that point on, the franchise connection to model trains would only continue to grow, eventually leading to the highly detailed collections that fans know and love today. Also, I want to give a big thanks to SudrianTrains for pointing this out to me in the comments below in part 1. If I mispronounced their name wrong, I'm sorry. I'll do better. Things I missed or got wrong. As you guys know, this was and is one of my first videos doing research on most of this stuff, or just doing research in general. However, I got a majority right, but I also got a few things wrong, and I missed a lot too, including Meccano Percy, or whatever it's called. So in this section, I'm going to go over everything I missed, or got wrong, or need to clarify. So let's start things off. I said that Hornby made it Donald and Douglas. However, it turns out that this isn't true, thanks to Sodor_Dan the man for bringing this to my attention. So now you might be wondering, how did I get this mixed up? Well, in 2002, many Thomas and Friends fans began to speculate about what Hornby might add to its ever-growing range of 00 gauge models. One of the most popular rumors at the time was that Donald and Douglas, the famous Scottish twin engines, were planned to join the lineup. The twins had become fan favorites thanks to both the Railway series books and the television show, so it seemed like a logical next step for Hornby to produce them. While there was never official confirmation that Donald and Douglas were actively in development, the rumors persisted for years within the Thomas modeling community. fans pointed to the popularity of the characters and the fact that Hornby had already produced many of the show's other classic engines, making the twins look like an obvious omission for the range. However, later in 2002, Hornby's Thomas and Friends line entered a period of uncertainty following Hit Entertainment's acquisition of Gillane Entertainment. The franchise began shifting in a new direction as priorities changed for fewer models, and any hopes of Donald Douglas joining the range gradually faded away, as you know. The next thing that was brought up to my attention that I didn't talk about was that the Märklin Thomas is based on the Hornby version, and I heard this from SodorBiscuitEngine. So we're going to redo everything I talked about the Märklin line before because I missed a lot. So, Märklin Thomas and Friends range is an interesting part of the brand's history because unlike many of the other original locomotives, it wasn't designed completely from scratch. Instead, Märklin based their Thomas model on the existing Hornby 00 scale version. Since Märklin was primarily HO scale trains, or their 3-line system, for the European market, they adapted Hornby design to work on their own 3-roll AC system while keeping Thomas's overall appearance almost identical. The range was fairly small compared to Hornby, with Thomas being the main focus alongside a few matching pieces of rolling stock. This allowed Märklin fans to add Thomas to their layouts without needing to switch to a different train system. While the models looked very similar, almost identical to Hornby's versions, the initial mechanics were completely different, using Märklin's own motor, pickups, and digital compatible electronics. Because the range was produced in much smaller numbers than Hornby's, Märklin Thomas has become relatively uncommon today. They're now sought out after by both Märklin and Thomas and Friends fans, making them more unique releases in Thomas and Friends models were sold Okay, you guys, if you enjoyed, please subscribe. I want to try to hit 100 subs very soon, which is honestly pretty crazy to say because, you know, I've only been on YouTube for not even a month when this is coming out. But anyways, I'm going to be making 2 new series. The first one being the in-world history of blank. And then this series, I'll go over a character and describe its in-world history using books, the show, and some real-world background knowledge. I do have who the first character will be, and I'll tell you guys that. It will be Oliver. I'll be going over the in-world history of Oliver. I'll put up my 2 thumbnail drafts, and tell me which you like better, A or B. The second series will be about canceled brands, canceled episodes, and canceled merchandise lines, or ended merchandise lines, or, you know, anything like that. This will be called What Happened to Blank. And this will kind of just like say, like, okay, let's just say like Wooden Railway. We'll go over the learning curve Wooden Railway, and we'll figure out how it started, the middle of it, and then the end. Also, if there's anything you want me to cover in any of these series, please leave a comment down below. And again, if I got anything wrong, also leave a comment down below. Again, this is my first time making a video where I do research, or not this is my first couple times making videos where I do research, so me making mistakes will hopefully get better as time goes on. But anyways, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Adios.